Israeli Foreign Minister Yair Lapid, UAE Foreign Minister Abdullah Bin-Zayed, and U.S Secretary of State Antony Blinken now publicly discussing the need for alternatives to the JCPOA nuclear deal. This has Iran drifting further and further from the negotiating table in Vienna. In a trilateral meeting in Washington Wednesday, the United States, Israel, and the United Arab Emirates issuing more forceful warnings against the hostile Ayatollah regime in Tehran.
We are getting closer to a point at which returning to compliance with the JCPOA will not, in and of itself, recapture the benefits of the JCPOA. And that's because Iran has been using this time to advance its nuclear program in a variety of ways, including enriching uranium to 20% and even 60%, using more advanced centrifuges, acquiring more knowledge. It takes two to engage in diplomacy, and we have not seen from Iran a willingness to do that at this point.
With this in mind, the diplomats confirming discussions regarding alternative means of addressing the challenges posed by Iran. Rhetoric borrowed from Israeli Foreign Minister Yair Lapid from moments before. And Lapid adding that, quote, "By saying other options, I think everyone understands what it is we mean." Further, Lapid making clear that with or without a nuclear deal and with or without United States support, Israel will act to defend itself as necessary.
There are moments when nations must use force to protect the world from evil. If a terror regime is going to acquire a nuclear weapon, we must act. We must make clear that the civilized world won't allow it. Israel reserves the right to act at any given moment in any way. That is not only our right, it is also our responsibility. Iran has publicly stated it wants to wipe us out. We have no intention of letting this happen.
Meantime, Israel already acting on these words. Israeli Air Force fighters reportedly carrying out a strike against Iranian and pro-Iran targets in Homs, Syria overnight. The targets including militia centers, training bases, and a communications tower, and one Syrian soldier was killed with 3 more wounded. Iran's military entrenchment in Syria constituting a red line for Israel, with the IDF having carried out thousands of such attacks in recent years. Iran's military entrenchment in Syria constituting a red line for Israel, with the IDF having reportedly carried out thousands of such attacks in recent years to push Iran back, including a similar strike just last week. As per policy, though, the IDF neither confirming nor denying taking any action.